ready to go live. It says right there, YouTube, Edwin. It says Facebook, and it said something else. We are on cross platforms tonight. Hey guys, what's going on, LFI Shuffle World? This is Michael Ray Newman coming to you deep in the heart of Texas. And I see Edwin Britt's got his baby, Joby. Is that Joby? That's Joey there, guys. I got such a nice evening, and we decided to sit out here. Been doing a few calls. Tired of being in the house. I hope everybody had a fantastic day that is joining us now or watching it later. I hope that you are ready to line yourself and your business, and just hope everything's going great for you, man. We're really just been able to reflect and been very grateful of where we are, what we're doing, in a lot of different aspects. Edwin, I know you and I talk a lot. And we just get to meet really cool people and do a lot of really cool things. And I hope you're doing that. And if you're not, shame on you. All right. Tonight, every time we start these things, I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to make it about you. And I came out here and kind of jumped in, but I want you to sit here. I want you to make this about you. We have an opportunity every single day to pour into other people, and it's kind of required. Get up, make the dinner, get up, clean the house, get up, facilitate the business, get up, bring home the bacon, fried up in the pan, all that kind of stuff that we have to do. When you get on these calls for us, this training, the mindset of a champion, the training that Edwin and I do is for you guys. Make this about you. And if you'll make it about you and implement what we teach you with your personality, that's the secret sauce, with your personality. And when we talk about business and we talk about the trust process, we spend quite a bit of time. Let's see. Okay. Uh-oh. Can you hear me, Edwin? Okay. All right, cool. Well, so when we talk about mindset of a champion, we go in the trust process a lot. Think, plan, and prepare, relate, uncover the need, offer the solution, take massive action. Well, that is true. And we use that in every single vertical that we have. But when you talk about business, and whether you're building an MLO team or whether you're building your own brand or your own company or your own product, there's really 5 things. And it's really sales. You know, you can debate, but there's nothing done without a sale, right? Ever. So you got to have a good sales team. And then we talk about our leadership. And then we go from after you have sell, you got leadership, you got your operations that facilitates the packaging of it and delivering of it. And then, of course, the accounting's got to bill them, got to make some money with it. And then you have some communication skills and some personality profiles that go along with that. But what marketing, or what we call, is branding. And tonight we're going to do a little bit of coaching, a little teaching, and we're going to coach you to the target of your brand. What does that look like? And how do you align your brand across all your platforms? What do you mean all my platforms? Well, it's pretty simple, some of it. How do you align your brand across all your social media platforms? Pretty simple. But if you take another look, an in-depth look, more than just a casual glance, and aligning my brand, we got to train leadership and sales. So Edwin, you got to post every day, and he does that. He does a really good job of coaching to that target, aligning his brand and being consistent. That's super important, to be consistent about how you brand yourself. And if you're going to be life by design, we're all about that. And we're all about, being significant in whatever it takes in the trust process. And we do that. But when it comes to building your business, whether you're building an MLM or direct sales, you talk about your leadership, talk about your sales, talk about your operations, talk about your accounting. Tonight, we're talking about branding. How are you branding yourself, your product, and how are you aligning it across your platforms? And that means, how do your people answer the phone? Is it consistent with the exact same process as your salespeople tell them? Are your operation people, are they delivering the product from what they told them? In our alignment, Edwin and I can always reset ourselves on the trust process, no matter if it's in leadership, no matter if it's in sales. So as we kind of more of a laid back situation tonight, I want to coach you, do a little training, and talk about your brand. And this is super important for you guys. Don't miss this. Edwin's got some really good stuff, and I'm going to kind of challenge him a little bit and push on him. And we're going to have some really good back and forth on this brand alignment and how are you branding yourself, and are you branding yourself to the target that you want? And is it consistent, Edwin?
Michael, you use that term several times. Thank you. Always a pleasure to be with you. The target, right? I heard Michael say several times the target. And when we hear the word branding, none of us are new to hearing that word. But sometimes it's sort of like we might hear the word safe. Like, for several of us, we probably have some form of a safe inside our house. We keep our most guarded items in. You think about a safe, but then sometimes you have to open it up and look inside to really unpack the contents of what a safe is. Well, the same thing would apply with branding. Like tonight, we want to give you some intentionality, and as Michael alluded to, some target, right? of what branding really is. And so branding, another term for branding, is influence, right? So you brand so that you can influence. So while that seems pretty elementary, right? Brand to influence. Influence means to persuade others to take action, right? And we understand this. We've talked about this in the trust process Michael was alluding to there, is that people take action based on their reasons, not yours. And their reasons are driven by their feelings and their motives and their beliefs. So what branding is and what influence is at its core, right? It's building a bridge to what other people's feelings, motives, and beliefs are. And it's really that simple. You're building this bridge. Here's your product or service. Here they are. And you're building a bridge that they can walk towards and connect with and align with your product or service. So what should your branding look like? There's a commonality in branding, Michael, and I'm going to go through it and then feel free to ask me some questions and we'll sort of elaborate on these. But the back end of, I'm going to give you 10 words tonight that you should be branding towards, because that is the bridge of emotion and decision making that people are looking for. So you want to build a brand influence towards something that you know people are looking for, that influences them to make decisions. And that's where you come together. So the back end of that word, all of these words, go ahead, Michael. Yes.
No, I just want to jump in real quick here, guys. What he's talking about, what he's about to go through here, I want you to understand, brand, and we talk about a meaningful, specific, opposed to a wandering generality. You want to brand yourself to what you want your customers, your audience, your team, your internal customer, the people that we coach, people that are on our team, the people that are selling with us, the people that work with us, are the external customers. As soon as they see you and they're scrolling or they see a text message from you, oh, they know you're that. And I need that right now. I'm going to stop because you're that person. So when Edwin goes through these and gives you these things, he's going to give you he's going to be very intentional about it. And it's going to be it's going to be not a wandering generality, a meaningful, specific energy management. So when you talk about your branding, I know you're going to talk to that, but I wanted them to catch that before you get too far into it.
Michael, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Michael's exactly right. So the back end of the word is ability. Ability is going to be in the back end of all of the words I'm going to give you. But let's look at the definition. Like Michael talked about an in-depth look versus a casual glance. Because we casually glance at ability, we get some image in our mind. But from when you define it and you look a little closer, ability is a possession or means or a skill to do something, to deliver something. Or it's a talent or a skill or proficiency in a particular intentional area. So here are at least 10 things that your consumers, our consumers, are all looking for. They may not articulate it this way, but at the end of the day, this is the bedrock of why they make decisions and why they will make a decision to select you, your product, your service. Number one, and not in any particular order, these are just 10 words. Sustainability. People are looking for sustainability when they make decisions. Sustainability suggests long-term, longevity, great return on my investment, sustainability. They're looking for capability. Like Michael owns a construction company. So they're hiring his product and service because they are skilled. Remember what I said, a talent or a skill or proficiency in a particular area to do a job, whether that's roofing or window replacement or repairing a deck, whatever that might be, capability. Another big one is affordability. People are always and have always looked for affordability. But when you can couple affordability with capability or sustainability, the affordability now becomes a bit more valuable. It doesn't necessarily mean the cheapest. It just means, can I get several of these things and it still be affordable, right? Quickly, they're looking for accessibility more than ever. And we talk about this is what Shuffle does for you. It provides accessibility, instant real time. It's never been more important than in our today's society. They're looking for reliability. They want your yes to mean yes and your no to mean no. So you should brand towards reliability, integrity-based reliability. Hey, if Michael tells you he's going to show up at 10 o'clock to give a bid, guess what? You set your clock on it. He's going to be there. If he tells you his crew's going to be there at 8 o'clock the next morning to begin the work, you don't have to worry about it. Boom, reliability. That is a brand. It's influence. It's why people make decisions. Dependability kind of goes with that, right? Let your yes mean yes. Show up when you're supposed to. Deliver. Do more than you were paid to do, right? The day will come you get paid more for what you do. Dependability. That goes to sustainability. It goes to valuability. It also goes to marketability. Like, think about the athletes in the world. They are a brand, and when they lose their reputation, they lose their marketability. It doesn't matter how good they are as an athlete, their marketability takes a steep decline when these things don't connect. So you have to connect the dots of these. A couple more: relatability, believability, and mobility. That's, again, one of the value adds of Shuffle, the mobility, the uniqueness. And in all of your branding, I'll pass it back, Michael. Make sure you run them through these 4 filters Michael and I have talked about. Be unique, be authentic, be intentional, purposeful, and consistent. Michael, you combine these things and you brand towards the target you talked about, and you do that through those 4 buckets. I don't care what your business is. I don't care what the economy is. I don't care what the circumstances are surrounding it. You're going to ultimately find success. And if you'll find success and you'll hook into Michael and I, we're going to show you how to become significant with that success.
Awesome, bro. Now listen to this, guys. In your mind's eye, if you're taking notes here, Shelly, hey, Shelly, thank you very much. Hey, Allison, I know you guys are probably taking notes watching this. If you're watching this and you think in your mind's eye on a whiteboard, and I want you to put on the top, what do you want your brand to be? What do you want to be? I want to be X. I want to be Y. I want to be Z. I want to be this to these people. And then, Edwin, I want you to jump in here real quick. What are the 4 things? You just said them. Let's coach them against coach them. I want you guys to see this. Uh-oh, Edwin just turned himself off. Wrong button.
I didn't mean to. Here I am, I'm back. The 4 things that you should always filter is you need to be unique, authentic, because people can tell when you're not being authentic. Don't try to be Michael. Don't try to be Edwin. You got to be you, Michael. Open the whole deal tonight with that. Be intentional, which means to be purposeful, have a process, trust the process. And lastly, if you'll do those things, you'll find you'll be more consistent.
Okay, so you have what you want it to be at the top. You write those things on the whiteboard right underneath that. And then all the abilities that he just put in there, put that underneath that. And that right there is the roadmap. Those are the stepping stones to be what you want to be to the public, to your audience, to your product, to your customer, whatever service you're trying to brand. And if you think about that in the training, that's what we do when we train this. We train it with, what do you want your brand to be? I want to be the shopologist. We have somebody that's a shopologist. We have somebody, I want to be Mr. Bob, the Bruce the Builder. That's what I'm trying to be in this construction company. Okay, what does that look like? What are the abilities? And we have a standard that we work to. So this whole outline of a whiteboard is the branding standard. Think about that. We live up to a standard. We do things a certain way. Are there more than one way to do it? Is there more than one way to do it? Absolutely there is. Now, why do we do it this way? Is because it's a proven track record. We've iterated on it. Do we change the process? Yes. Do we ask why and what? Yes. Do we flip the script sometimes? Yes. Why? Because that's the only way we're going to stay relevant, is us challenging, Edwin challenging us on these things, putting these abilities down and see which words, and as you go through them, we move them around and put them on this board of what is most relatable to us. But that standard that you hit and that ability that you have for those is super important to align your brand, whether you're trying to be a lifestyle marketer or you're just trying to be significant. And like Edwin said, if you'll follow us, that's what we're trying to do, is take you from success, which is awesome, because it's helping yourself have more, and you're truly designing a life for yourself, to significance, which is not just leaving a legacy, but living a legacy. That's what we're doing here.
Michael, I hope everybody that's watching tonight, or will watch somewhere in the future, because I know people catch it on our platforms at all times. That's what's so great about it, right? It's versatile. It's 24 hours a day. It's the world we live in. I hope you'll go back and you'll watch this recording several times, because each time you do, you'll pick something else up and you'll see how the connectivity is flowed. Because Michael said something early on that perhaps you didn't catch it. So let me remind you. He talked about the internal as well as the external customer, those you work with and those you work for, those who bring you money and those who help you deliver on your products and services, right? They're equally important. So you should brand to both of them. And he talked about that standard. So they have to understand what your standards are and what your branding is. And then they rise towards that standard. That's how you build a championship culture. And that becomes the referral bucket, the reciprocal bucket that grows a business like a snowball rolling down the mountain. It becomes this, you couldn't stop it if you wanted to, right? That's what the big winners do. And they do it from all forms of business, small business, big business, in between, marketing businesses. When they gather that momentum, that's when things really just exponentially grow. And that's where the fun kicks in, Michael, because then you get financial freedom, location freedom, and time freedom. And I know you know a lot about that, bro.
That's exactly right. Now think about that. The 5 areas of business that we have out there. Tonight we're talking about the branding, and the branding, really what falls under the branding piece is the marketing piece. And that's what that is. So Hazel asked Edwin, I'm going to let you talk about this in just a second. Remember, at the top, what do you want your brand to look like? I want to be branded this. I want it to look like this. And then how do we align that brand? And then right underneath that are the four keys. And then underneath that is all the abilities that we just talked about, the sustainability and all the abilities that we go through with it. But understand this. When you go to your branding, your marketing, right underneath that is your sales. Then it's your leaderships. Then it's your operations. And then it's your accounting. If you can hit all these buckets with the trust process and make it about you, you will not only be successful, you're going to be significant. Oh, wow, man, that's a lot, Michael. You just told me a lot. I know. Don't worry about it. Tonight, we're talking about marketing. We're talking about branding. We're talking about how do you get your name out there and how do you stay consistent with it. So I want you to stop in your mind, Hazel, right here. You got your whiteboard, and I hope you're standing there in front of it, listening and watching. We're going to do it again. What's your brand look like? You can even write that. Define my brand at the very top. And then right underneath that, the 4 points. And then underneath that are the abilities. Edwin?
Yeah, so if you're writing these down, those 4 buckets again are going to be unique. And sometimes when people think unique, they think outlandish, like I've got to be, wear my hair some crazy way or wear wild clothes. No, unique is just a skill set that you possess, you think is a strength of yours that separates you from other people. Be unique in your approach. Be creative as an example, right?
Be you.
Be you. And that builds to the second point, and that's be authentic. It's got to be you. People can tell because selling is a transference of feeling, and you've got to feel it to sell it, right? You've got to know that product, good or service you personally would use, and it's a solution for that person. Thirdly, be intentional, be purposeful. They are one and the same. And lastly, be consistent. Consistency is the big miss. Everybody Michael and I coach, they say, God, I wish I could be more consistent. The reality is everybody that says that can be more consistent. They have to make a choice, a discipline to be more consistent. And being more consistent, it isn't always easy, and it's very rarely fun, right? It requires that extra discipline. And then did you want me to quickly hit those 10 again? I'm not sure if you were asking me to do that as well.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. So quickly, and again, you can go back and look at this recording if it goes too fast. And these are just 10. There are more. They're all connected to ability. Sustainability, right? It kind of speaks for itself. Longevity. Capability, affordability, accessibility, reliability, dependability, mobility. Can you pick it up and come to me? Man, that's really important in today's world. Relatability. Okay, so relatability is sort of synonymous. They have to almost be able to sympathize with you. They have to connect with you. Like every great story, right, has a hero, has a villain, and an antagonist. Every movie you've ever watched from Hollywood, I don't care what the script is, they all have that. Your branding should have that, right? And you're the hero. You've got to identify what the villain is, the problem, the antagonist, the cause of it, and you be the hero. That's what your branding should point you to be the hero, right? And then marketability. Hey, being the hero, you got to be marketable. And then believability. You got to be transparent. You got to be real. You got to be raw. You got to roll up your sleeves. One of the great things about Michael, one of the reasons he's one of the most successful speakers in America today is because he's believable. He's relatable. People connect with him because he's transparent. He's vulnerable. He's a working class guy who did well. And who doesn't want to connect with that? But you know why his story works? is because it's true. He lived it. He's not trying to be somebody else. And we all need to do that to build our brand. Michael and I built a brand at Edge Global, a global brand. So we know a little bit about building brands, Michael.
That's exactly right. And then Shelly said, do the do every day. See, those little things like that are brandable. Those are little things that you can do to build off of, build your platform off that right there. Now, as we go through this, think about this. We talked about the brandability. This is a context that we teach to in a classroom setting. Sometimes you guys need to go through, look at the top, work its ways down. We've kind of given you a really slow pitch. What we're going to take through now, the trust process over these next few weeks, we're going to take the 5 areas of your business and we're going to hit back on the leadership. We'll touch back on the sales. We'll talk about operations and how does that really tie in? I mean, I got my operations, and then what nobody likes to talk about is your accounting, which is your KPIs. You know, what are your key performance indicators right here? So tonight we talked about marketing, which is branding and the ability. What do you want your brand to look like? Think about some time. This doesn't happen overnight, guys. What do you want it to look like? Look around out there. What do you best align with? How can we help you with that too? You guys had to reach out and ask us about it too. That's awesome. You're very welcome, Hazel. Appreciate you guys tonight. We're going to go through, talk about sales and leadership, operations, accounting, and then we're going to come all the way back and always tie it into what we can, the benchmark that we hold ourselves to be significant, staying relevant is called trust. And in each one of these areas, this branding piece, as you go through the whiteboard that we just talked about, we gave you 3 areas on the whiteboard. We gave the branding. What's your brand? What do you want it to do? And the second thing are the 4 keys. Underneath that are the 10 things of abilities. And if you I think, Edwin, you talked about consistency, dude, and I talk about it a lot. Be relentless about one thing, being consistent. And all consistency is being delayed gratification. Too many times I go to that pantry in there and I start just grazing because I'm bored, you know, when it comes to that. So it's about me having that delayed gratification. Oh, man, if I do that, I'm going to not like myself in the morning. I have eater's remorse. So, guys, you got to have a little bit of consistency.
Michael, I got to tell you, man, this morning I was up early and I was going in there. I was going to get me some oatmeal and blueberries, right? Had my good water, going to have a little glass of orange juice. And guess what caught me, man? Half of a Krispy Kreme donut was sitting there too. And I had a quarter of the half. Yeah, but, you know, sometimes it just catches you, right? It's tough to be consistent. Sometimes because it's always like, oh, Krispy Kreme donut, you know? So I'm from the South, so I think you guys know what Krispy Kreme is, right?
Hey, brother, the struggle is real. The sweet tooth is big right here. Guys, this evening, I hope you're out relaxing. Get to your happy place. Will, skill, and refill. Take a few minutes every day to go on your little vacation, the time to get alone, to refill yourself, to get through your day, however you start in the morning, evening, however this. I hope you made this about you tonight, guys. I sincerely appreciate everybody that watches live with us and the couple hundred people that we've had on our platforms that are watching us because Guy and ER have been able to bring this to you guys. And I'll tell you right now, Edwin, I always learn a lot from you every time, man. I appreciate you pouring into me, mentoring me, and hanging out with me. Everybody else, thanks for hanging out. Remember this, go out, play hard, have fun, and above all else, make it count. We'll see you next time, guys. Appreciate it.